It all happened like I knew it would. A single drop of source magic. And, like flies to honey, the monsters swarmed. The rebel panicked. The carnage began. And the Magisters pointed their fingers at me. Just as I'd planned. I was shackled and collared, and sent to Fort Joy. I'd come here to kill Godwoken. But instead I became part of their story.
So, still a bit groggy, are we? Don't worry, the sedative will wear off soon enough. Easy now. No need to hurry. Get your bearings and report to me upstairs.
Well now, aren't you a curious sight? If I'd had a mask to hide my bones as well as yours, maybe I'd still be walking around today. Where'd you get it? There can't be many curios like that in the world. Ha! Fresh out of the crypt, are you? No, we are abnormal. It's why we hide in the shadows. Or walk about like you still had flesh on your bones in your case. You even have yourself a silky mortal voice. How much do you think I get out? All I know is there are more like you. Well, not quite like you. But sorcerers collared on this tub, all heading to Fort Joy. Beyond that, your guess is as good as mine. Still, you'd best keep that mask on. The living don't take kindly to seeing their future staring back.
An animal sty. Freight or food?
Did you expect a needle? Shaking her fluffy coat, the sheep eyes you balefully, her rectangular eyes like letterboxes to the void.
Hey, get me out of this cage and I'll make it worth your while. You in? Set me free, and I'll set you free. A fair trade, I should think. A gentleman among jesters, you are. Give that lever a pull, and I guarantee we'll both get something out of the deal. Your guess is as good as mine. Someone screamed loud as a banshee. After that, pure pandemonium. They never even told me what I was accused.
Before you can even touch the lever, you hear a sniff and snort behind you as the snoring Magister mumbles himself awake.
Is my shift over? You here to... Wait, you're no Magister. You're a sorcerer. What are you doing here, filthy scrounger? Choose your words carefully. My fists ache to meet a new face. Clever story. I should have known there'd be trouble.
So much for a peaceful stroll.
The prisoner's buoyant voice darkens as his gaze finds the sunken hollows that once held your eyes.
Ah, freedom. Tastes better. I'm nothing if not a man of my word. And I did give my word I'd set you free, lad. Say your prayers.
What would he have to gain by killing me? Strange forces are at work.
Empty.
Good thing I needn't worry about splinters. Locked. And I'm back where I started. Nowhere to go but up.
No lesions, no trauma. He was bled by magic.
junk.
Empty.
Why, you're looking a bit more chipper. Yes, there you are. Not too... In the meantime, your next stop will be Magister Will. You'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters. Why? Because we're at sea, of course, and have been for...
Index fingers pressed to her lips. She pauses a moment to give you a scrutinize.
My word, you do seem a bit befuddled, don't you? Perhaps I was... Oh, well, I'm sure you'll soon gather your wits. Most likely. Eventually. A new life awaits, and if you're a particularly good boy, perhaps a cure as well. An end to Source. For good. Is he? Oh well. Some problems simply sort themselves, don't they?
She frowns and peers at you closely, concern clearly etched upon her face.
Delusions such as these are rare, but not unheard of. I recommend a cup of mulled wine and another night's sleep. Just take it easy. Why, for my peace of mind, of course. Why don't you try casting one of those Source spells of yours? See what happens.
Currents of magic surge inside you, boiling, bursting, then breaking, only to fade back into your soul like rain into the earth.
You better stop before you hurt yourself. There you have it. See? The collar's function. It neuters you of sorts. Makes you unable to cast Source. For your own peace of mind, of course. Yours and the whole world's.
Did the murderer take him into this room? Or was he already here?
Everything's spick
Good
and
gods,
span.
there's been a murder.
Behind the Magister, a bloodied mass lies in a heap. Gore and limbs lie at odd angles. You can't make out a face amid the mess.
There's been a murder. A sorcerer was killed by one of your own. Lucky you were busy getting your collar fitted at the time, or you'd be a suspect like the rest of them.
No indications of...
Waters is investigating. She'll figure out who did it. Always does. Aren't you enterprising? I'll let Waters tell you no herself. Go ahead. She with the body.
Ugly sight, isn't it? Burns me up this happened under our protection. We're extremely lucky no Voidwalker followed the source that did this.
She looks up at you with a mirthless smile.
I was on duty in your room when the murder happened. You were asleep the whole time. Didn't even stir. You're one of the only indisputably innocent people on the ship. Unless you can commit murder in your sleep, of course. Finn was killed by Source. If a Magister could do that, there wouldn't be a Magister. It looks more like a passenger managed to slip their collar. And the rest, well, you see the evidence in front of you. Listen, I could use someone to keep their ears open among the passengers. Sometimes they clam up in front of a uniform. Bring me a good lead, and I'll throw in a shiny gold coin for you. How about that? Not in here, it isn't. You let me know if you hear anything. Whoever...
Nothing to see here.
Did the murderer take him into this room? Or was he all...
That's enough now. I'm here because I'm magic. Are you here because you're weird?
You look like my daddy. His name is Frida. He's...
Do you know Losa? She's a really good singer. I'm better though. Listen. La 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 la.
Ah, there you are. Husband. Would you please tell this very charming gaggle of not-at-all brat-like babes that I am by no accounts this Losa woman, nor do I sing, in fact. I'm deathly, deathly allergical. How very correct you are, spouse of mine. Madame Josephine Gribbles de P. What? What's so funny?
Her pinched face cracks into a great grin, and she shoos the children away from her with a laugh.
Yeah, okay, you found me out. Go on and git, and maybe I'll sing you something when I'm good and ready.
She turns to you, dark-eyed and dirty-haired, and smiles flatly.
Gotta keep ourselves entertained, haven't we? You presume right.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
Nope, trying not to find anything out either. Ignorant thanks, but I already belong to an elite and exclusive ship gang. We play ball every day after lunch. You're too soft for it. You take care, though.
Suddenly, her eyes cloud to an unnatural black. Greyish veins run down her face, and her mouth tightens into a cruel... As quickly as they came, the clouds clear. She smiles as though no change came...
Good luck, Chief.
Why won't you sing?
I forgot how to sing. I did.
Name?
It was one of them.
Well, you aren't here on my list. Scrammy. We're trying to catch a killer here.
They don't care about us. The cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by
Well,
one.
well. What have we here? A fresh face in this stale hell. Let's size you up.
The lizard looks you up and down, like a farmer would a fetching horse. All of a sudden, he grips you firmly by the chin, with the intent of inspecting your teeth.
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
I'm inspecting your teeth, in case that wasn't There's some discoloration, as well as a rather disconcerting lack of tongue and gums, but I've seen worse. After all, one can't expect. Now then, to business. You will answer me 3 questions. The first one is this. Can you cook?
It was one of them. I know it.
And of course, a cook who can't taste is about as useful as a dog in a chess game. On to the second question. Can you knit, weave? In short, tailor?
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up?
Yes, I can tell from your vagabond chic a bag is as good as a shirt kind of style, I shouldn't be getting my hopes up. On then to my final query. Have you the ability to administer the upkeep of one's personal appearance? The delicate art of cosmetics is what I'm after. The very basics, then. I suppose that's a start. So, 3 questions asked, 3 questions answered. As per your own testimony, you can groom, but you have the taste buds of a dung beetle and the fashion sense of a monkey in a clown suit. That won't do at all, see? I'm sad to say I must deny you the opportunity to be my slave. Ever so sorry. You should probably come to terms with the fact that you've half a mind, full stop. Still, hone your skills, and one day you may just qualify for a position in a lesser house.
They're picking us off one by one.
I spent my life singing for my slaves to bring me my supper. Finer fare than boiled roots and rotten tubers, too. Meanwhile, the Magisters feast on honeyed meat behind this very wall. The indignity.
A broad dwarf sits totally upright on the bench, eyes closed, palms face up on his knees. His beard is a cascade of meticulous plaits, each one braided through with golden medallions. He raises an eyebrow as you approach, but doesn't open his eyes.
Listen up, boy. You hear that?
That right? I always knew you'd turn up rotten, Ben Nest. Your kind have always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
The ship, of course.
Got this wolf on a leash now.
A wave of sound washes over you. The unintelligible chatter of your shipmates, the groaning of wood from floor to ceiling, the boom, crash and crackle of waves around you, complaints from the sea itself.
And?
I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
There's nothing else I can make.
Sick as a leper's cat. From the state of it, I'd say she's being cared for by a bunch of beardless babes who never loved anyone but their own mums. But there's more. Listen close. There now, just like that.
Squeak!
That has the Magisters more concerned than your
Aha!
His eyes snap open as his countenance breaks into an expression of joy. One great paw claps you on the back. The other catches you before you lose your footing.
There. You heard it, didn't you? I knew it. I knew it. Aye, this is good news, boy. Good news.
Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
It's the wheel. The wheel. Don't you see, you beautiful idiot? Squeaks whenever the helmsman jerks it clockwise, which means we're heading east. Burn my beard. That means if we've been traveling for, yes, only 10.34 nautical miles to Fort Joy.
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water are all I was given.
Unacceptable. I've never
Captain, actually. And that figure tells me we're getting close to the Joy. Close to what lies beyond it, too.
The dwarf leans back from the table and strokes his beard, gold medallions jingling merrily. His eyes roll over to you.
That'll be all. Thank you kindly, boy.
He continues stroking his beard, a beatific smile on his lips, and does...
If you'll be pardoning me, I'll be much obliged.
You one of them? A Divine Order loyal? They killed a sorcerer, you know. They'll hide the evidence well enough, but make no mistake.
She got eaten by a void one.
Forget it.
It was one of them. I know it.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to...
An elf sits tucked away in a dark spot, lazily rolling dice onto the surface of a barrel. They sound like the dry cackling of an old witch.
Snake Eyes.
She chuckles.
I bet that's just what they'll look like. Rolling dice. Deciding fates. Don't worry, honey. It isn't yours.
She looks you up and down with the merest hint of a coy smile on her lips.
Never say never, though.
She eyes you quite seriously.
Not the future, no. But I can read the past in flesh. One of the perks of being an elf, you see. I could lick your arm and tell you how you spent the night before last. Shall I?
She looks at you in surprise when you bare an arm of bone.
My. Guess I'll have to find out the memory from Marrow, won't I?
She gives your arm a vigorous stroke of the tongue, efficient like a cat grooming.
You were in a cellar with other sorcerers, watching, staring at them, hoping that none would stare back. You were desperate to speak up, to reach out, to form a connection with these strange creatures. But you were scared, terrified even, of what they might think of you. Of course it is. The truth's right there, skin deep, so to speak. But don't you worry, darling. Your secret's safe. I don't lick and tell.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
I'm busy watching for clues, sorcerer. Go take...
Can we just...
A scruffy man lounges against the wall with scarred arms folded. A sly smile playing on his face, he stares across at the Magister guarding.
Watch your back, new fish. There's a murderer on board, and I'd bet 3 months' pay it's this
Rolling his eyes at the Magister's warning, the man named Ifan beckons again. He leans in and adjusts your collar with a sharp tug, balancing its weight so it no longer presses unpleasantly on your neck. He winks.
Pinches less that way, right?
Hocking a phlegmy gobbet in your general direction, the sullen Magister settles back to his task of glowering at Ifan. And now, you.
We used to know each other, more's the pity. I was his commander many, many, many moons ago. Isn't that right, Vic?
Standing far back from Ifan, the tight-faced Magister draws one finger across his throat in an Ifan grins, flashing pointed white teeth.
Same as he was at 14 years old. Only difference is somebody gave him a bigger sword and now he's Johnny Big Pants. Long story. Maybe I'll tell you about it in the Joy. Away from interested parties. No. The dead man, Finn, is it? I'd no business with him. And I wouldn't put a man down without good reason.
He glances over at Magister Victor, who's staring back at him with pointed intensity.
Damn shame sheer annoyance isn't reason enough. The Joy, I've heard a lot. Nothing good. No surprise there, since Bishop Alexander runs the show. Wonder if we'll get to meet the ringmaster himself. Not interested in the son of the divine himself? I don't blame you one bit.
What are you conspiring about over there? You! What's your name?
Oh, don't mind him. Vic's just got a bee in his bonnet. And that bee is...
Name!
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't intend to...
Magister Victor looks at you suspiciously, then scrawls something illegible down in a tiny notebook. He scowls at you as he stows the notebook back in his voluminous robes.
Away with you, at once.
Ifan performs an elaborate pantomime of keeping quiet, one finger in front of his lips as he leans back against the wall.
I'm trying to concentrate. I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up?
You think me mad?
Here to register, sir. Good, good. Magister William, you faring okay so far?
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can be quiet long enough for me to listen.
He tugs the collar of his uniform and...
Sorry you're upset, sir. But we all wear what we wear for a reason. You head on in now. Williams will get you.
Bolt's trained on her, and if she tries to murder most foul, and I
Standing at the center of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of nervous-looking magisters. They keep their crossbow trained upon her as she's being interrogated by an officer.
So you admit it then? You murdered that poor...
Yes, I did. But of course, that was only the beginning.
She turns her head and looks you straight in the eye.
There are others whose lives must end.
Good God, the woman's mad. You there, sorcerer, go and fetch Magister Siwan. We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet.
It means your journey draws to a close. Do stick around for its finale, though, because...
She reaches for her collar and simply removes it.
I'm just about to create a scene.
Subdue her, men, quickly! If she casts source, the Voidwoken will come. They'll end us all.
She smiles with wicked satisfaction.
Precisely.
Mask. She stole it. If these savages see me without it, they will have my skull for a goblet.
God damn it! I need to get off this wreck. Quick. Not long before this thing snaps into splinters. Great gods! Something's pounding on the hull.
The marking on the door was painted recently, judging from its pungent scent. You recognize the symbol. You press your palm against the door to open it. Your fingers clack against the wood, and you suddenly feel grey. That it doesn't budge. The moment you touch the...
That means there's still a chance.
You do. Shut your trap, kid. Children and dwarfs first, just like the old stories say.
The dwarf yanks at one of the nearby ropes to no avail.
But there were other people down there.
You see those tentacles, kid? It's time for getting the hell out of here. Hear that, kid? We need to go.
But about the ladder? It's right over there. Thank you, thank you.
You're gonna be the death of us here.
The Magister lies on the floor, unconscious and bleeding from a dire-looking wound.
If you can walk, get yourself up the ladder. There's a... Wait. Void Woken.
These beardless bugs won't sink the ship on my watch.
I thought Voidwoken was supposed to be scary.
Let the games begin.
They who are about to triumph.
I've faced worse.
One of us take you.
Let's not tarry. This old tub is about to burst.
There's no time.
I have plans for you, child. Rise.
Honorable Dallas, we lost a ship sailing sorcerer prisoners to Fort Joy. We assume some escaped and broke their collars. Their vile magic lured the Voidwoken. All who were aboard are presumed dead. Yours faithfully into eternity, High Judge Orivan.
Well, that was decidedly unpleasant. Am I the lone survivor? Depending on one's definition of survivor, of course.
Boring.
Ah, Brachus Rex. I've read his history. Quite mortals look at this and think it's old. Mortals look at this and think it's old. It's rather adorable, really. broken. Mortals look at this and think it's old. It's rather adorable, really.
The child has a small mirror in his hands. He holds it up at angles, inspecting his eyes, his chin, the crown of his head. He spots you, and his arms snap to his sides.
I'm not supposed to talk to strangers.
The child considers your statement.
You're weird. Are you a sorcerer? One of those guys that brings the bad void things here?
The child looks at you straight on, unafraid, searching the shadows cloaking your face. He lifts his mirror to his nose, closes...
I don't see any source on you or me. I guess they're wrong or crazy. No one cares where I go. They know I can't leave the island. It's nicer out here than inside anyway. But you didn't die. There isn't anywhere safer. That's what I mean. You'll see. I guess I am, but it's just normal to be scared.
Voidwoken. Those are the same beasts that sank our ship. Damn. They made it to shore. thought these bloody collars were supposed to keep those things at bay. Drowned and eaten by a voidwoken. I wonder in which order.
You spot a strange lizard gazing over the water with a steady, malcontent stare. Yes, you recognize him from the ship. It would seem you're not the only one who survived the tentacles of the deep. The lizard turns about with the graceful ease of a dancer, or a duelist.
I did survive, yes. And chances are I wouldn't have, had you not returned to the aid of your fellow passengers down in that... You have my gratitude.
Hand over heart, he salutes you with a bob of the head. More than a nod, though less than a bow.
Yes, I'm sure you've all the makings of a hero and all that, but let's not... Now then, if there's nothing further...
He watches you depart without...
Yes. I thought, if you really must know, I haven't quite decided yet. I've a frightful amount of things on my mind, hence my standing here contemplating the waves.
He sighs, dramatic.
Tell me, what do you see when you cast your glance over this ocean? Memories.
He looks out over the water once more, and so do you.
As for myself, when I consider this vast expanse before us, I see an empire. I see continents dotted with mighty cities, and shimmering along the soft curve of the sea's horizon, I picture the palaces that formed my paradise. Lost. What do you mean, what do I mean? I mean just what I say. I had a very actual empire that I lost.
Suddenly, having all the air of being deeply offended, he stares at you with utter incredulity.
Well, don't just stand there gawking like an ape at an abacus. Or do you really mean to tell me you don't know who I am? The very same. I am the Red Prince, the All-Conqueror, the World-Tamer, the spouse of the sun. Of course you know me.
There's a brief moment's pause, during which his grandiloquent pose deflates ever so slightly.
That said, I suppose I must own up to the fact that I find myself rather in between all-conquering and world-taming opportunities at the moment. The grandeur that is my fate has hit a bit of a snag. But never you worry. For the throne I was destined, and my throne I shall have. Truly. A kind offer indeed. And you've already proven to be trustworthy enough. You came back for the others on that ship after all. Fine, I accept. On one condition. For reasons I'll not disclose right now, it is imperative that I should meet with a dreamer. I've reason to believe one of them may be present on this island. Promise me we'll look for him, and I'll extend you the blessing of my company. Jolly good. The undead? Like your good self, you mean? Come now, did you really think a handful of linen towels can fool me? But don't worry. I have studied the arcane arts for years, including necromancy and demonology. I do not hold the petty prejudices of common folks. In fact, so, now that that's settled, first things first. Even if you are as versed in the art of eloquence as I am, that our swords will be doing a lot of the talking from here on out goes without saying. As a born fighter, I prefer the perfection of the blade myself. But I'm well acquainted with the secrets of magic, and yes, even subterfuge. What say you? Wizardry is embedded in my nature as deeply as the instincts to breathe and drink and mate. The dominion over fire suits me best, truth be told, but there is no school of magic I cannot master. Very well. Onwards then to victory or death.
The Red Prince nods and gives you a smile that wavers ever so delicately between courtesy and contempt.
Now, as you're aware, you'll be travelling with a prince. Proper forms of address include Your Majesty, Your Royal Highness, or if you're feeling particularly free. As your luck would have it, I seem to be fresh out of luggage, so you won't be required to carry my belongings. Of course, there are other forms of protocol to bear in mind, but I'll see to it you'll pick up the rest as we go. So, without...
Ah, hello, small, furry creature. How do you do?
The cat's eyes are clouded and grey, but it stares at you with acute intensity. Its eyes clear, and it shakes its head, confused. The cat's eyes are clouded. It appears confused.
Hey, mister. It's a lot nicer here than that stinking boat. I'm sure glad you went back to save the others. Saw one of them wringing out their tunic at the shore a few hours ago. Say hi for me. 1, 2, long dead of the crew. 3, 4, pretty shells on the shore.
Need I repeat myself? But I know that.
We already know the truth, Magister. Now speak.
I am a proud loyal to the Order. I would not dream of subverting our cause.
Your Godwoken has asked you a question. Answer him.
Need I repeat?
Stay back, sorcerer, and stay silent. Our Godwoken speaks.
We know you've been helping sorcerers escape, Atusa. We have proof.
I'd sooner cut my tongue out than lie to you, Alexander. I know nothing of any escapees.
If you can tell the Godwoken no more, your tongue is of no use.
This can't be serious, Alexander. Come!
You should know by now to obey your superior, Magister, whatever she may ask.
Atusa pinches the tip of her tongue with 2 fingers and brings her dagger to its root. Her eyes squeeze shut. Drops of blood.
Stop! My father, may his soul rest in peace, would be disappointed in you, Atusa. To think you would lie to his only son. The fate of our realm hangs in the balance. If you will not help us, Dallas.
Yes, Your Holiness.
I believe we're done here.
What a waste. Come, we'll be needed elsewhere.
The Lizard Magister, or what's left of her, lies in a puddle of gore.
She was a lizard, yet a magister. No matter her reasons, her penalty was fair.
Saw him, didn't you? The Hammer and Alexander. They gave that scaly traitor what for, they did. "'Tis a misfortune, brother. You lot can't help your condition, but at least the humans of you ain't celebrating the Source Plague. When you give up the darkness that's inside you, they're working on a cure for you even now. Got some good leads, so I hear."
Did you see them, sir? Bishop Alexander and the Hammer herself, they were so close, almost within arm's reach. A traitor cannot be murdered. A traitor can only receive their due. Easy enough to say in times of peace, but look, the Void Woken are coming, sir.
And it's only the... You keep his name out of your mouth, you filthy cod chewer.
This is not your business, Long Pig.
Don't let this moss muncher talk to you like that. Especially a cheapskate like this one. Griff already knows she don't like...
An intense-looking man steps between the thug and the elf and rolls up his sleeves, revealing well-muscled and heavily scarred arms. You recognize him. It's Ifan, who you met aboard the ship on the way here.
Just stand aside, won't you, mate? This is no business of yours.
Lone wolves decide their own business.
The thug freezes in fear for a moment before shuffling back to the protection of his crony.
Pay up, elf. No one shorts Griff, especially not one of you. Everyone in camp's got to contribute. For food.
Food? Protection? I have neither.
Burrow looks you both up and down, sizing up your combined...
Ah, get out of here. The both of you. You ain't worth it.
The elf smiles and bows to you in thanks.
Follow me, before more of them trouble us. There is a safe place.
Ifan rolls his sleeves back down. He nods at you, the shadow of a...
Good work there. Good work. I can tell you've got chops.
He stretches out one rough hand to shake yours. He grips your hand tight as a vice and pauses. His fingertips feel your finger bones. His eyes narrow, but a moment later he shrugs and smiles.
Say, you don't look all that busy now that we're safely on dry land. I could use someone to watch my back, and it looks like you could use someone to watch yours. I've just got a small errand to run. And then I'll be looking to get the hell out of here, while I've still got a neck to collar. How about we stick together until we get out of this place? The usual way. Haphazard, terrifying, and drenched in blood. Haven't quite worked two heads are better than one. And when push comes to shove, 4 fists are better than 2, right?
He grins, sharp teeth glittering in the midday sun.
So, before we hit the road, it's best if we decide battle survival's my main priority. I'll use every trick in the book to keep us alive. But if a wayfarer's not what you're after, I've got other skills. What do you need? Can do. Onwards.
He scans the horizon for threats with one green eye, then...
Right you are.
Sir.
I know that look well enough. You're about to pop, ain't ya? Why don't you enter a match and let some of that frustration out the right way? Nothing I can tell you you can't find out by slipping down that hatch.
A delivery. Surely you'll have one. Please.
Scram, snake face. Ain't fit for beasts.
If a magistrate...
Griff is slowly, methodically peeling the skin from a potato. As you approach, he looks up.
What?
Who's asking?
He smirks. and holds the little knife up to the light.
I'm listening. Thugs. Look at it this way. People get lawless here, and we all starve.
He points the tip of his blade at the grisly sight of the elf hunched over, clutching his knees in the cage.
Here's the goods. Like you wanted.
Take your coin then.
I solve my own problems. Sure, have good stuff, huh?
Don't tell anyone where you got this, eh?
Got it.
Can't help you there. If I could, I wouldn't be here peeling goddamn potatoes. Oh, they'll cure you of your sauce.
Everything now? Good.
I got that special shipment he was asking after.
Keep it down, will ya?
Rest, mate. You pay yourself for the grin.
A little reprieve from the din outside.
Shua! 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 Got you!
Thank you for your help with that, thug. Rare is the human who goes against their own for an elf.
The elf appears momentarily puzzled by your comment, but then offers you a dignified little bow.
As far as I'm concerned, you are noble and just in both actions and appearance. I am in your debt. I hear of no escapes. The only way out is through the Magisters, through their cure. Thugs I can stand, but I fear the Magisters. In this cave, we trust the healer. She is young, but she sees. She knows more than we know. In the camp, the brute Griff rules. He who gives the bread has the power. It gives me great pain. I'm with my family. We are making beautiful magic. We are healing a tree cut down with great violence. The Magisters come. My family runs, but Wait, before you go, I am not here without your help. I do not forget this. For you, a prize. I say thank you.
Shua! 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 Got you!
my unlikely friend. What do you need?
I feel him, but I do not see him.
No one tells me there are so many children in this Fort Joy. Your kind I handle, but small ones. An elf lives forever. If she stays away from spears and fire, she has no need for...
The young girl's eyes are covered, but she turns towards you when you approach. She smiles as though she recognizes you, though she couldn't have seen your face.
Hello, stranger. A strange person from a strange time. I wonder, do you even know how lost you are? I see it before my eyes. It is not so bad. I know which days have bread and which days have none. I know more bread comes someday. It helps.
Her eyebrows shoot up.
There can be a way. Amiro knows. But he is gone. Do you see him? He knows how to live. My protector, my friend. An elf like me, with a spirit bright as new leaves. He tries to help me, to save me, and he is caught by those who hurt him. I wish so much for his return. And he tells you what you seek. A way out. You bring me great peace. Thank you. I see something that helps. I see a lizard. He is a lizard of... Yes, please ask. My home is far. Your language gives me some trouble. We elves... Time, for us, is now. There is not then and when. Oh, I do not cover my eyes. I cover the place they used to be. They are gone. He is a very blind man. He sees things but not truth, not love or joy. I feel very sorry for him. You understand when you meet him after you escape.
Another giant speaks, Quercus. No, never! I will pay it no notice. One of its troop has an air of nobility about it, but this one... Ugh. Another giant speaks, Quercus. No, never! I will pay it no notice.
uneasy here.
The Reaper for me.
bleeding.
Deplorable surrounding for an agreeable conversation, but go ahead.
I'd say we're making good progress already, no?
If Anne tips his fingers to...
The frogs are gone. The children shall be safer. I see the good in you. I see all of you. No one tells me there are so many children in this. Stay in this cave a while.
I feel him, but I do not see him.
You are in the wrong place, Pinky. Military, are you? Be at ease here, and well met. Let me know if you need any armaments. I offer them to a fellow servant. You are in the wrong place, Pinky. Do stop gaping. Anything can be procured inside these walls. That's for you to decide.
I feel him, but I do not see him.
The cat's eyes are clouded and grey.
What? How did I get... Hey, stop following me. What? No, that can't be. I can't... Hey, stop following me. Huh? Yeah, fine. I'm fine. I'm not sure. It's all a little foggy.
The cat opens his mouth as if to speak, but his eyes lose focus.
It's still there, Quercus. Do you think it'll ever...
The old dog whimpers sadly.
Frightfully busy at the moment, love. Haven't got any liquor on hand, have you? This fella could use a little comfort. All the wars for old Dane. He crossed one of Griff's cars. Exactly. Our healers walk.
Is that thing eating corpses?
The creature heaves through lips gummed with human gore. It turns to you with great effort, pain apparent in every movement, and madness screams from its wide, bloodshot eyes.
You. Quite lost. Caref now, a little query. Where grows the yarrow? Quickly now, for I haven't much time. Maybe I unscrew your lid and poke about inside and set your memory straight. Would that please you? Can you not remember now? Ugh! Where does the...
Meet the Reaper for me.
Rest now, or you'll hie yourself to the grave.
You think you're so fancy with your flashy abracadadoodle, don't you? Fat, who needs you? Fat chance. I'd wrestle death to the ground and make him scream my name for such a dainty toe in the Hall of Echoes. All you did was save the bastard a good beat down. Ain't you the poet? Here, if death comes near me, I'll rip his bony head off. Ah, I caught a blow too many from those card-playing fatheads up on the ramparts. I got myself a gold. Why don't you take it? If they offer you a round of cards, this one guarantees you a win. It's called the spark. Careful, though. If you ain't as skilled a fighter as... Griff and his lads won't know what it's... Leave him be. Don't make me...
Listen, I can help you if you just...
Shut up, elf. This clown? You caught him stealing from my kitchen. Still won't say where he stashed my supplies. Sound like someone you'd let off with a slap on the wrist. Supplies? Crate of food, citrus in particular. He'll talk, or he'll die quiet. All I want is my supplies. Happy to let this clown die in a gutter instead of my kitchen. Bring back my crate, and you got yourself a deal. Ain't been here long, have ya? No one gets to have it all. No one starves anyone else.
He twirls his knife between his fingers.
Divine's gone. This blade is the only god watching over Fort Joy.
An elf, caked in mud and blood, looks up at you from the bottom of the cave.
You believe what he says? That I am a thief?
He perks up and wipes his face with his good...
Sahela, you speak to her? She is all right then. Good. Huh. She sees my trouble, of course. She already knows. And she knows I help you out of here in exchange. It is all prepared. It is ready. I am too weak to go. But I must care for Sahela. You release me, and I show you the way out. I am no fool. If you can leave, you do leave. I see no one. In fact, I only hear the sound of Griff clearing his throat. You know how he does? Like so. For some time, I think Griff takes his own supplies. But I see the anger in him that he does not find. Griff is a powerful man. Power is mysterious. I intend no harm. I want only some provisions. A bit of bread, a potato or two. Nothing Griff should be loath to give. You understand. Thank you. And...
Don't fiddle with the rats. And... ain't fit for beasts.
Griff glances from his blade to you and back again. He turns the card over and holds it up to the light.
Got your hands on my sparkler, did ya? Well, put it to good use. The louses I have at the card table could use a good shake-up. You already know the terms. Nothing else to say. Sure, Have a look. Worse than war rations, these.
Psst. Hey! You're a little light in your pack, ain't you, mate? Okay. Why don't you take a gander at the goodies I got? Stuff you won't find anywhere else in camp. Procured by special means. Fella in that cage is the thief. Stashed the oranges somewhere before he was caught. If you believe that. Sure do. Ask me. It'd have to be one of those sad sacks that's always hanging around Griff looking for...
She darts her tongue out of her mouth like a snake.
Some folks, and some reptiles, will do anything to get his attention. I see plenty of liars in my line of work. Snakes, weasels, worms. That fella's square as a pavestone. If he's the thief, I'll eat my boots. It's all in the eyes. Joy, sure do. Ask me. It'd have to...
She darts her tongue out of her mouth.
Some I see plenty of lies. Sure you don't want to have a look at my stock before... Let's just say folks leave here, but they don't seem to take their effects. Only the finest, you know.
Void woken, not attracted to source. But why? When another divine arises, will source change back? What if there are no sources? Why hasn't Alexander risen yet?
Perhaps if those bleeding dwarves didn't eat so much. Perhaps if those bleeding dwarves didn't eat so much. Worse than war rations, these.
Why don't you take a gander at the goodies I got? Stuff you won't find. Only the finest, you know.
What in his death caused it? So void woken, not attracted to source. But why? When another divine arises, will source change back? What is about those sorcerers? Why hasn't Alexander risen yet?
Worse than war rations, these. Ain't fit for beasts. Worse than war rations, these.
I got that special shipment you was asking after.
Give it down, will you?
Ain't fit for beasts.